How's it, everybody? Another corporate governance question here. So you are provided with a media article relating to Gadram Limited. Is that an Indian company? Gadram, like Gadra beans. Gadram. Sure, I love that. Or is it just Gadram? I don't know. What do you guys think? Anyway, let's take a look at the question. So here's the required. I always like to start with the required first and only then look at the question. It goes for literally all your subjects. 4.1, refer to paragraph 4. So immediately, what happens to paragraph 1, paragraph 2? I don't know, but let's listen to what they're saying. In paragraph 4, in deciding on the fine, the FSCA noted that on 10 April 2023, Loma had sent the message, and on 13 April 2023, the 3 board members, Loma and the 2 directors, sold their shares on the JSE at 105 rands per share. The subsequent rapid decline to 8 rand per share in the market price of the shares occurred in the following 2 days. So we need a little bit of background here. So what happened? Bizmiz News, how's that name, reported last month on the disclaimer audit report received by Gadram Limited and that a police investigation into a false financial statements had recently begun. So disclaimer audit report, that's very, very bad. But this is not the end of the company's problems. So some big issues here. In paragraph 2 in March 2024, the Financial Sector Conduct Authority, the FSCA, they imposed a penalty of 50 million rands on Loma Leonard. He is the CEO, the Chief Executive Officer of Gadram Limited, for breaching the Financial Markets Act, Act 19 of 2012, when he sent text messages to 2 directors warning them to sell Gadram shares. So a bit of an issue here. These important people sharing some very valuable information within the organization, perhaps some insider trading going on. So let's answer the question. So the 3 board members implicated in this case, they each own 150,000 shares each. Calculate the loss that Loma and the 2 directors each were able to avoid by selling their shares on 13 April 2023. So the initial share price was 105 rand. And the subsequent rapid decline to 8 rand, that is crazy. I mean, the shares are basically worthless after that, right? So the difference between the 105 and the 108 is equal to 97. And that 97, it represents the saving of the loss. And we're just going to multiply that by 150,000. We're going to multiply that by 97. It's the loss that they were each able to avoid. So in total, they own 450,000 shares. That's the 150 times 3. But we're just going to factor in 150,000 because it's asking us for each. And that 97 represents the change in price. So this is how much they were able to save. 150,000 times 97 gives us 14 milli in the city. 14,550,000. That is crazy. That's huge. Lucky that the CEO spread that information. Otherwise, well, the directors would have had it. But what he did was wrong. It was definitely insider trading. 4.2, refer to paragraph 3. Explain why the text message is so important to the investigators. So in paragraph 3. So the incriminating message from Loma read, "You always ask for my opinion. It'll take a long time for Gadram to get rid of all the bad news. Sell your shares immediately at the current price. Delete this message now and don't tell anyone." Maybe he turned on disappearing messages on WhatsApp as well. So why do you think this message is so important to investigators? Well, firstly, it provides evidence that a crime had been committed and they would know which directors to charge, who was implicated. The person who leaked the information can be easily traced, and it'll just provide evidence of all the parties involved. Now, explain why you think this crime is referred to as insider trading, another 2 marks. It's because it's fraud that is based on private information regarding the trading, buying, or selling of shares, which is not yet known to others who were affected. And these directors here, the insiders who had some intel about the company, they did have access to this privileged information. And the using of sensitive information to one's benefit here, this is an abuse of power by those ever so important leaders. In 4.3, explain how the rapid decline in the share price and the fraudulent financial statements are likely to affect the existing shareholders and its workers. Well, this is a 4 marker, so let's break it up. So existing shareholders number 1, workers number 2. Firstly, for the existing shareholders, they're going to lose their investment in their company. Like that capital amount they're going to lose it. And for some, it could be the loss of life savings, the loss of dividends. and they're likely going to sell their shares. And when they do, there's not going to be much of a demand for it either. So existing shareholders, yeah, it's not looking too good for them. Next, the workers, the employees, they're going to be retrenched, unfortunately. Some might lose their jobs. There's no job security, or you could even say job insecurity. There's going to be an increase in unemployment in the country. Employees' morale and productivity is going to be hampered as well. So yeah, huge effects here. And 4.4, if you were a shareholder in Gadram Limited, what other questions would you raise at the AGM? Explain 2 points. So if I was a shareholder, if Goon School was a shareholder, what is he going to do? Well, point 1, were any checks done into the background of the culprits before they were appointed into the board? Like Loma Leonard and company, like, did we investigate them? Police clearance checks, ethic checks, professionalism checks? Did we check the credentials? What disciplinary action will be taken by the company and the board against these culprits? And is it possible to rescue the company? How could the board possibly intervene to rectify the situation? What action are we going to take against them? So firstly is just, what action is the board going to take? Second, well, I mean, I've listed quite a bit already, but can the board provide a detailed explanation for the circumstances leading to the disclaimer report? Why was it a disclaimer of opinion? What exactly went wrong? Show us the evidence, the audit evidence. Can shareholders now expect timely and transparent communication regarding the investigation's progress and findings? And just understanding the impact, like what exactly is the impact going to be, if any? So what impact, if any, do the allegations and, well, the investigation have on the company's long-term strategic plan, and as well as the short-term? How are they going to rescue themselves in the short-term, and how are we going to build in the long-term? So it's just short-term impact, long-term impact. Some important factors to discuss then, yeah. Nice little corporate governance video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I know a few of you have already looked at it. Quite a big, important paper here. One of the more recent ones. But yeah, see you guys soon. Keep studying, keep moving. Good luck.